Welcome to 7 Generation Games, where we combine math and adventure gaming. We're working to make math practical, useful. It's not just about teaching what's 4 times 6. But, for example, do you need to calibrate frickin' lasers to put on the heads of frickin' sharks? Well, guess what? Then you're going to need to know math. This is just one of the reasons why 7 Generation Games is the company most likely to be acquired by Dr. Evil in his plan for world domination. After all, villains are about results. It's not enough to just come close only to have your plans foiled, and our game has demonstrated results. Studies have shown that the math scores of students playing our game just twice a week for 6 weeks improved several times faster than students who didn't. Our games are developed so that they're able to identify problem areas and focus on those trouble spots. So let's say one of your henchmen is performing below grade level. Our game will identify the concepts he's struggling with and adapt the problems he gets to focus on those trouble areas and bring him up to and above the level you want him to be at. Our games track and provide instructors almost real-time individualized data on their students. So you can see how each of your students, or say minions, is progressing and areas where they might need some additional work. We're always looking ahead so that we're best positioned to succeed in an evolving technological landscape. So we've developed our games with mobile and tablet in mind, using HTML5 instead of Flash. Which means if you're cryogenically frozen for like 30 years, not a problem, because we'll be on top of the current and next big thing when you get thawed out. We also specifically created our games so they can be customized. We have roughly 1,000 image and audio elements that can relatively easily be swapped out. The initial idea behind this was that the game could be individualized for specific tribes, so we could change it from Dakota to, say, Ojibwe. But at the same time, there's no reason it couldn't be adapted to, say, fembots.
Could you customize our game for fembots?
Fembots? Sure, why not?
That is, if we were able to contract with an expert in fembot culture. After all, we're committed to making sure that we are culturally and historically accurate when it comes to the portrayal of other cultures. Moreover, our games have literally unlimited potential. We have 1 game in beta and a 2nd game already in development. Our long-term plans involve expanding beyond the elementary and middle school classrooms to high school level and adult education, as well as expanding beyond the math curriculum to include additional subjects. We want to see our games in the hands of students worldwide. In short, one might say we're shooting for our own kind of world domination. And Dr. Evil might find himself surprisingly at home at 7 Generation Games. After all, we've had a doctor running the show ever since we were founded, way back in May 2012.
I'm Dr. Anne Maria DeMars, and I didn't go to college for 10 years to get a pile of degrees right here, to be called Mrs. DeMars.
And not only do we have a mini-me, but our mini-me has a mini-me. And many of our staffers are trained fighters. No, seriously. Our CEO is the 1984 Women's World Judo Champion, and one of our first game testers is the reigning UFC Women's Champion. And we've already generated more than $100,000 in funding. What more could Dr. Evil ask for?